Yo, what is up, everyone? I'm gonna be playing this game called The Forgotten City. It's a mystery game, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun. It takes place in Roman times. I've played some of it so far just to see if it was interesting, and I think it's pretty fun so far. I got bad feelings about this woman, by the way, and you'll see why as we play.
Hey, you're alive.
Starters, it's her eyes
When
are
I
just
dragged you out of the
fucking
river, I
wild.
thought you were never gonna wake up.
And like half the
I
time
checked your
she
pockets
looks
for
like a bunny
ID,
rabbit.
a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are? Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry.
I'm gonna have to delete that character later.
Any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Okay, so last time I did this, I was searching for ancient ruins, and I remember reading about different choices lead to different, conversations. So now I'm gonna go with I'm running from the law.
Really? You know what? Don't answer that. I don't think I want to know. Oh, come on. In your state, I could drop you on your butt and drag you right back into that river if I wanted to. Look, you've just been through a trauma, so I'm gonna forget you said that. But you owe me, and I need a favor.
This is why I
There are
think
some
she's
ruins
shady.
just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped, or injured, or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him? If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy, I just... What do you want to know?
Those are just some wild ass eyes. Alright, listen to this.
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is.
See, but from listening to this girl talk about him, it really doesn't seem like he's just a random guy that just washed up on the riverbed.
You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al...
See, she always goes back to Al, which I don't feel like something someone would do if they just met this person. I feel like there has to be something more tying her to him.
What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
But you see, with what she just said, she said she can paddle us back to civilization in her boat. So she could go and find help that way, also.
Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
So when I did my first playthrough, well not playthrough, but just playing for a few minutes to see if this was fun, she gave me the same name. So I trust that name for now.
Yeah, something like that. But right now, I have bigger problems, like finding Al.
See, she
Great.
cares way too
So you're
much
ready to
about
go look
Al,
for Al?
in my opinion. Maybe I'm just kind of a heartless bastard, but like, well, kind of want to say I'll pass,
Thank
but
you.
I'll go.
The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Or if y'all can hear me yawn every now and then, I'm kind of tired. Something's already watching me. This place looks hella cool to explore. Like, it's such a neat design. It does seem strange that Al would leave that here. You know, I'm not gonna lie. When I was doing my test earlier, I did not notice the book bag, or backpack. But now I'm kinda curious about what else I may have missed.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place."
Okay, see, here's my
Could an
problem with this
underground
Al
city
person.
have remained a secret for all this time? Could
I'm
people
assuming
have
he's
survived
talking about
down
what it
there
says over there.
against the odds?
But you can't actually get over there.
Seems there's only one way to find out.
This is, such a cool fucking place. Like, it's beautiful.
Seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning.
Look
Al
at this
Worth.
is a beautiful fucking place. Honestly, that seems out of place so much. And then these guys are like weeping fucking angels. See? Creepy ass motherfuckers. Besides the creepy ass fucking statues, this is such a amazingly designed place. This is fucking destroyed. Stop. Stop. See, now if you're like me, in this part, you're starting to think that these aren't statues. That looks like he's stumbling away from this. Person sees something. Oh yeah, you can knock him over. I might be doing later. This says she's praying. I feel like she sees something up here. It's probably coming down from like right there. People tipping. Oh, bitch. This place just looks so fucking cool. I'm not sorry for how many times I've said that so far.
To whoever reads this, I'm
This is
sorry
how
you had to
bad-
find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. In here, there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now. And find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Man, you a depressing ass motherfucker. This rope turn gold too? I don't think it did. The fuck is watching me? No, I'm talking about like... I'm so sorry. That was completely accidental. But your she's not getting back up though. See, this right here is why, like, I feel like I need to have another person in the party. Because I'm just kind of talking to myself, and I feel like it's not that entertaining. What are you doing down here on your knees? What the? Coming from this? Well, it sounds like it's getting louder. Oh, okay. I was gonna try to search that a little bit, but I don't get the option apparently. That's some Doctor Who shit right here. This is Farmer John.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head?
Exactly.
That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here.
What's up, Drac? How you doing, buddy?
But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one.
I feel like he's
So,
calling me stupid.
let me make this nice and simple for you.
Holy shit, he's
Live
calling me
by
stupid.
our law here, and we'll all get
Hey
along
man, I
just
hope you feel
fine.
better soon.
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Hey,
Follow
you know,
me.
lead the way.
When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you
those
can see,
beautiful
we've got a
fucking
nice
place.
little community now.
What do you mean?
Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep
What's
it
up,
in your
girl?
loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
That sounds like a great deal.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia.
Don't
She
don't walk
means
off.
well. She's just been in a bad place
See,
since...
this seems out of place.
Well,
I saw
you
this
know,
earlier, and that
I don't
seems
know
out
what
of
happened
place.
to her.
Also,
Up
there's
here on
still
your
golden
right
statues.
is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left
Gonna
is the
figure out a way to
forum,
get down
where you
there
can
and get a
visit the
weapon.
market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have
See,
almost nothing. Just what we had
Now,
on
what I
us when
think
we
happened is
arrived,
they found
and
this
what
place,
we've been able
which
to
leads
make
me to
and
ask,
scrounge up since.
were these
And
statues
this
here when they
central
found
plateau
it?
is
Because
where
I
the
don't know if
magistrate
these are
and the other
statues
patricians
or
live.
actual just
So
golden people.
don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it
Well, this
easy,
guy's an
Horatius.
asshole.
I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
See,
You
asshole.
better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that?
Don't worry, I got you,
What
Mr.
did you
Coin.
just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you,
See,
farm boy.
this makes me believe that this isn't a
Greetings,
that's a person.
citizen.
That makes me
My
believe
name's
that that's a
Horatius.
person. Who the
Magistrate
fuck puts
Sentius
a
asked me
statue
to
like that
escort you
on
to him
a
personally.
fountain?
Follow me, please. Follow me. The only thing you really need
thought
to
this was
understand
cool
right
fountain.
now is the golden rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding
Look
the bad
at
apples
this.
among hundreds.
This is
They just
fucking
divided us into groups of
badass.
10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether
man,
he'd done
I've lived
anything
this in
wrong.
real life for no reason.
One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the Collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you,
It does.
you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The Magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
You know, there's something I want to point out before I talk to this guy. This lets me know when people can see me. And this is as far as I've gotten last time. This is always someone can see me, and I'm convinced something's watching me. Because if I go in here, and I go to this guy's chest, he has money in here, and I can steal this. But the moment I steal this, God hates me, aka punishes me. So God is always watching me, apparently. You back. How you like that, God?
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. Something about your demeanor gives me the urge to caution you against doing anything, shall we say, unlawful while you're here.
See, because he's talking about because I'm
Is that understood?
criminal.
Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place. would you?
It's fucking beautiful.
A secret
my dude.
city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last
so
7
many
months.
hundreds of years ago.
22
He's only been here for
complete
7
strangers
months.
brought together
I
by the
really feel
fates,
like those
living
statues
and
are
working
people.
together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin?
This guy's eyes are also kind of wild. He has a fucking big ass nose.
Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule.
And that's
It's
why I'm
extraordinary
convinced
that we've
that
survived as long as
statue
we
at
have,
the fountain
and
is a
each
guy.
day I grow
Because
more
he
and
looks
more afraid
terrified out his
that our
ass.
time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look
Also,
like you have questions.
Kind of feel like this guy is
Ask away.
fulfilling the prophecy himself, because as we're gonna find out, or as we kind of already know, there's about to be an upcoming election, and he might get voted out. And I think he doesn't want to get voted out.
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone
Stealing.
agrees on the basics.
Definitely,
No theft,
so-
no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
See, now I don't know if he's wrong, though.
Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and engineers. We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea.
I didn't pick this
all
option
our citizens
last time,
are treated
and I
the
actually kinda
same,
love this
regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference. Can you say the same?
No.
When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric?
I kinda want to start an argument with him. I kinda want to start an argument with him. I'm not gonna use that one because reasons.
Of course. What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well.
Okay, what about this one?
Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands.
Okay, but see, that's where the problem there kind of lies, because they don't need that protection.
Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion. Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows.
So we know
I'd be
blasphemy
keeping a
then
close eye
isn't
on them
a
if
sin,
I were you.
because if it was, we'd all be dead.
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you?
Kind of want to lie to see what'll happen.
2,000
to be honest with
years? That is unfathomable. Please, tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us? Of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
It's okay, Grandpa.
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better. Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office
See, this is
so
what I'm
that
talking
they
about. He
can
just wants
pursue
to
their
hold on to
own
power.
misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them if I were you. You mean you couldn't speak Latin before you arrived here? How strange. But the gods are active here, and their temples and shrines hum with power like nowhere else in the Empire.
Stranger woman was
Perhaps
one
when
of the
Proserpina
women
brought
from
you
the
here, she planted the seed of Latin in your mind so that
picture
you
we
could better
saw
serve her.
when we first got here of the two women in the portal.
An unbeliever, then? If you come up with a better explanation, I'll be interested to hear it. Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the Golden Rule? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it will win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Let's check this place out first. Kinda mad about how nice of a view this guy's got. Seriously, all this can't be from like 7 fucking months. Oh, interesting.
Whatever are you wearing? Oh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing god who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent god would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving.
Is that really such a bad thing, though?
I suppose we will. I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate, but you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here, and why are you dressed like that? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
I like this girl.
I trust you can see yourself out.
I might tell him it's her just to get her killed. I don't know what this is. Possibly bread, but it looks good. Last time I stepped on something like this, it fell. See, now, I would believe that this person is an actual statue. Doesn't look to be afraid or anything like that. Now... No. Now this person looks afraid. Oh, the kitchen. Probably did regard that as a servant's problem. That's actually wild. I didn't know that. Going to be doing some research for later. Oh, okay. That is all the, that's all it says, okay. I don't really think it's been polished that well, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I really know about ancient makeup is, like, I think horse shit was used in lipstick. Which is wild to think about. But, again, if I steal that, God will hate me.
You've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation? Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
See, like, this person is obviously terrified for their life. There's no way that's supposed to...
What were you two talking about?
Feel like I don't have to answer that.
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him? A spit of a fauna career. We've lined up all the votes we need already. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
Okay.
Good. Then stay out of it. Nobody likes Caput Murday foreigners interfering in an election. Can't hurt. I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected. He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see. 'Cause if I tell you, and it gets out, it'll give old man Sentius a chance to interfere in our plans. And we can't have that. We've already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
I feel like we're gonna have a problem no matter what.
The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me. Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why. You want to see me fight? Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunnis. Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it. I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return. Dunno. Something good. Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron. Just make it good. Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
I don't think he's gonna break the golden rule. I think the guy he's going to vote for is going to break the golden rule. What I'm willing to bet. I was hoping I could go around back and enter. I don't think that's gonna work the way I wanted to, though.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others. Without a weapon? Well, it's your funeral.
I mean, you can give me a weapon. really hear that wind whooping.
I'm afraid this area is private. I must ask you to leave.
Okay, we're gonna look into that later.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
I really don't care, woman.
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
She kinda looks cross-eyed, don't she?
Put simply, I tend to the temples, ensure their sanctity is preserved. Why? So that we continue to honor our gods, invite their blessings, and not bring their wrath down upon us, of course. It's vital that we keep them appeased and remain in their good graces. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here? Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed
Alright, peace
odd
out, Drac.
to you. Why is that? The memes? What are the memes? So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs, then? So your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen. I wonder if... No. I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
Oh, god damn it, I was right.
Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
What the fuck happened to Livia?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the Golden Rule was too much for her. But
I really
There
don't
is a
think
small
it's the weight of
chance
the golden rule.
that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just
Is it that crazy
don't want to
Karen
see
dude?
that
She's
happen
one
to
of
you.
those two
So
goddesses.
be careful, will you? Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns. I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or
I'm
animals.
gonna turn the music down
But
after
here,
this.
it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long.
Actually, I would.
Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go
gotta
from
watch out
door
for
to
those
door,
vagrants.
asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now, the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately, the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic. Realizing only a select few possess such powers, says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately, the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish." So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map.
Oh,
Some
that's a
say
pretty
the
cool
moral
story.
of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
You know, I like this woman. I hope it's not her.
I'm pleased
We're
to
not
hear
gonna
it.
go with that last one.
It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask? All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course. Well, you're not a citizen yet, so no.
Oh,
I'm
we're on
afraid
this
not.
shit, okay.
But if it's any consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election. By using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course. I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed.
Alright, need to find something to blackmail her with later.
Certainly. Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Who's this person I'm hearing? Oh, that's actually really cool. So, for anyone curious, the button that brings that up is triangle, and I keep hitting that when I'm meaning to jump. That seems like an important place.
Oh, the moon.
Yeah, you know, fuck it. You gonna kill him? Hey, see, this was obviously a person who broke the golden rule. Look at me. Another one over there. Like, that one is a maybe. That one's a definite. Am I the only one that sees? It looks like it hurts. Uh-huh.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Yulia. She was a good woman. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here, with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day, or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out. Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
She dead? She's dead.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Yep, you too, you too. It's over here.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land. Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India. And never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know. From which exotic part of the world do you hail? Then you are an explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to share. I cannot wait to hear them. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps? Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate. Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus. If we are to survive, I say we must each keep the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing."
So that's pretty smart.
Regrettably, I think you are correct, my friend. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act. Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not? That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way. Nothing comes to my mind, my friend. My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum. You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all? I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree? Oh, and there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best. A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself. I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa. Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am. Anything you like. I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Like the ways those look. Apparently I'm supposed to talk to you.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Makes good sense.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we? Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
So I'm gonna kill this guy.
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale. All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
Took the cart.
Of course I chose the cart. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin. Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet. Thank you, friend. Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Not going to happen. Very well. Another time.
There, he was talking. You yelled someone over here, and I don't think it was that guy.
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule. Thank you.
Apparently
He's still in there,
about
somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. The shrine is collapsing!
Oh. Yep, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Is that understood?
Yeah, I got you,
Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place? A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave? Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
I'm gonna test lying real quick and see if that's gonna fuck me over.
Another lie. So you really do believe that? Fascinating. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
What?
Yes, because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now. the secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is. Do not waste it. Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process. All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty and wants him dead. The details are not my concern.
Makes sense.
This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not? Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words? And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Motherfucker. Get us all killed. I'm sure there was probably a way I could have talked myself out of that. I kinda wish I could have just told him it was the other guy. Hold on.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of... Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Oh my god.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably. Alright.
Okay, I have to check something real quick. Because if I have bread on me, I am going to go steal money right after I try out the zipline and end the live stream. Best zipline ever. Fucking knew it was a zipline. Alright, well, I'm gonna... Huh. come back to that. So what are my different missions right now? Main goal. Golden rule. Figure out who is most likely to break the golden rule. Okay.
Salve!
Actually, real quick, let me holler at him before I end this.
I saw you use the device I made,
We'll end
and
it
it
with
worked!
Mr. Clean.
Anyway, I'm sorry to ask, but is there any chance you'd be willing to do me a favor? Well, I've been trying to get this rare flower from the rock spire in the middle of the lake. It's too steep to climb, so I hung a rope over the lake and made this pulley device, only I, couldn't quite summon the nerve to use it. Do you think you could use the device again, and try to get that flower for me? Oh, thank you. It would help me a lot. There's no rush, just whenever you get a chance. All right. See you around.
Well, hold on now.
Ah, it's
I
you
have
again.
questions for you.
Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind? Well, it's a long one and kind of sad, but
shit.
I don't mind telling it.
Not sad.
I'm a farmer. Always have been. I grew up in a small village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and 2 little sisters. Lovely part of the world. One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. Sprinted so fast I almost threw up, but by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after, and things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young, and it was a struggle. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These Legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were, and what they wanted. I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle.
Hell yeah.
There were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. Still burns whenever I think about it. Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome to be sold to the highest bidder. I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, Romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me, and I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming and shouting. I'd never seen anything like it. Human beings acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow, and the rest is a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place, and I started my life over again. That's what I thought too, for a while. But it seems the gods aren't done tormenting me yet. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting, and he'll get his, one day. He'll get his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away sometimes.
I like how I can lie.
Thanks, friend. I knew I liked you. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, let's see here.
I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know?
Hell yeah.
I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life. All right, see you around.
Alright, I think I'm gonna end it here. We're gonna talk to that crazy woman, and still a lot of money in the future. So, stay tuned if you find that interesting. Please like and subscribe if you like this.